TTP blogger here, and we got the Nexus 6P to my review. This review is not going to be as big as long as the previous one, because I've already covered camera with the Nexus 5X, and the camera here is exactly the same. So I'm going to be more focused on the design and the look and feel of the phone. So when I started off with the Nexus 5X, I started off with a lot of bad things about the phone. And honestly, with the 6P, this eradicates a lot of problems. Software-wise, there's still the issue of the gallery, the pinch to zoom, the intuitiveness. But as for the quality of the phone, any drawbacks that I had on the Nexus 5X are pretty much gone with this phone. The only thing that I would have liked would be an in-between of the build materials of this and look and feel versus the size of the Nexus 5X. Had they put this exact model in, say, a Nexus 5X size and basically amped up the price a bit, maybe like $100 more or something, it would have been probably like what OnePlus 2 calls the flagship killer. Honestly, I don't see a market where there's a smaller device with premium materials. It always seems to be a bigger device. There are a few handful of companies that actually do it, HTC being one, where they do a mid-range size with awesome build quality. Samsung to some extent has started to do that, but there's still a lot that's left to just bigger devices, and I feel that a lot of the smaller hand users are being left out in some sense, because they're appealing to a mid-range slash budget phone for someone who has a smaller device versus the larger phone having it maxed out. This should technically be either a hybrid of both of them or one of each in both sizes. To some extent, Sony actually did that with the Z Compact. It lacks a few details in the sense that the RAM is less, and there's always a shortcut when it comes to a small phone. There's never a full premium compact of sorts. So some drawbacks. Drawbacks meaning it depends on your personal preference. So size-wise, that's personal preference, but I think again, this is a great build quality. I would give this 9 out of 10 on build quality. This feels like a premium phone, don't get me wrong. I feel that there are a few things lacking in the 6P, where it was supposed to be premium, but in some sense maybe they chose the wrong panel for the screen. Even though it's 2K, it has, I guess, visibility issues, especially in daytime. In the sunlight, it has a couple of issues, like viewing angles aren't the best. You need to put this up pretty high. I think I put mine on maximum for me to actually see anything. The difference being that the panel being used, the 2K panel that they were using, is, I guess, maybe not the best. I'm not sure, because they wanted to keep the price range more in the affordable market. I prefer if they went with a 1080p screen that was maybe AMOLED or OLED or something to that extent. That would have been a better user connection, meaning like it would have been better for the users to get a 1080p, and also that there's not enough 4K content for it to be supported, and by using a 1080p screen you would have saved battery life by at least 20%. So this thing goes over a day easy. It is still new, so it still has the wear of the 6-month cycle of what a battery is supposed to go through, but it does give you over a day if you're a medium to moderately heavy user. If you're a super heavy user, it'll probably get you just through the day. And I think that had they put a 1080p screen here and kept everything the same, they would have probably appealed more to consumers, and by saying 2 days battery life, maybe even 3 days, that would have been a real kicker, because that would have sold probably more phones just based on that, because a lot of people find battery life to be a very important issue, and it should last through the day. And now if this was 1080p, I could probably guarantee you it lasts at least 2 days, because with the 2K screen it lasts just over a day and a half. So 1080p, no doubt, 2 days easy, and that would have been a solid device. the fact that the 2K screen is lacking in some sense kind of I guess tarnishes the image of the 6P in some sense, because the screen is something that you're looking at constantly. For example, I have the OnePlus 2 here, and at first I couldn't tell if this was a 1080p screen or a 2K screen for the first maybe 15-20 seconds, and that means that's a great quality 1080p screen. I don't need to put this up more than 25 to 30% in brightness for me to see outside in the daytime. I need to put that up at least 50 to 60% for me to see anything. So I think either it's the backlighting panel, maybe it's not the panel itself. The panel might be great, it's just the lighting behind the screen for brightness that's maybe poor. They could be using that as a battery saver technique in the sense that it's lower in, say, low light when you don't really need the brightness. It does go pretty low, that's pretty good. What I would have liked to see was, if it was a 2K screen, go all out. I mean, make it a really good 2K screen. And if it was 1080p, put in the best 1080p screen you can, because at the end of the day you can say, I got 2 days battery life. And there's not enough 4K for 2K to be a must-have. In 3 to 4 years, maybe it's possible, but right now it's not really necessary. So that is one drawback on the 6P. But overall, I think the 6P is a great buy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, for everything that it offers, the way it's built, the camera is pretty decent, like I said before, on the Nexus 5X. Could be improved. Manual mode really helps. It improves it quite a bit, especially with the color tones. You can actually help change the lighting when it's in low light. That helps a lot. The point and shoot features are great. You just literally point and click and it takes not even half a second to do its job. And yeah, I'm gonna cut it short here because I covered a lot of the camera already. The phone itself is fantastic. Like I said, 9 out of 10 on build quality. The camera is probably like a 7, 7.5. The stereo speakers are great. It's better than the 5X for sure. I'll probably give that about an 8 on 10. And stay tuned for my OnePlus 2, because that is my daily driver. That is my phone. I've been using it for about a week, so I'm gonna give you all the ins and out of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So probably I'll see you next time. See.